Almost all of the makeup on Raymond was just beauty makeup, and I worked with Doris Roberts. I did Doris Roberts, Brad Garrett, and Ray Romano. And of course, Ray and Brad were just, corrective makeups. But Doris was a full glam, paint by numbers. And she taught me a lot too about how she liked to do her makeup specifically, because she had been an actor since like the 50s. And she was so full of life that she would drag me off to parties and stuff. And I just like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with her. And she was like 70 at the time. And yeah, she was a great lady. She was always really good to me and would bring me on projects or events to have me come to her house, do her makeup for events or award ceremonies or whatever. So we had the occasional little gag, where it's a flashback where somebody has a mustache, and we had done some photo shoots where they were the Addams Family and things like that. So, but it was mostly just corrective and beauty makeup, things like that. With Everybody Loves Raymond, it was a traditional sitcom where, everyone came in the morning, got ready, and then we, go to lunch and come back, touch everybody up. So a lot of it was, timing. You had to learn your timing and making sure that everybody was ready at a certain time, because the audience would come in and you had to be ready by then. There was no waiting around for anybody. They didn't really want to wait on makeup and hair for anything. So, which is understandable, but they also that sitcom schedule and everything is very much about, the script, the jokes, the timing, all of that, rehearsals, everything. So you had to be very precise about how long you were taking to do makeup, and they didn't want to wait on, putting on a mustache or taking it off and all of that. So you had to be very fast. So I learned a lot about working on sitcoms in that sense. And we had great teams and great people to work for. Phil Rosenthal and Ray were great to work for, and huge amount of writing staff, and it was very succinct. So everything had, it ran a very tight schedule. So you had to make sure that you were on your toes for that. Like the difference between that show and Sabrina. Sabrina was kind of a hybrid show. It was a multi-camera, but it was shot on film. Maybe it was videotape, but it wasn't in front of an audience. And we had a lot of Steve Kullback, who was our visual effects guy on that. He was kind of creating stuff as he went along, because on Sabrina, they hadn't really done any of that stuff, especially on sitcoms. So he was creating how to do all of the visual effects, and of course he went on to be just a massive success for Game of Thrones and all kinds of amazing shows. But we were all just kind of winging it over there, just like that. It was such a creative show to work on, and we always were trying to just figure stuff out. So it didn't have quite we worked long hours, but it didn't have quite the precise sitcom style that Raymond had, because we had never done that kind of a show. It was the sets were all set up in a long kind of alleyway kind of thing on stage. So the cameras would just move from set to set, but there was nobody there that we had to be mindful of as far as an audience goes. So a lot of it was just all of us figuring things out as we went. It was totally different than I'd worked on a couple other sitcoms before that with my friend Shelley, and they were that kind of like very regimented, preciseness that Raymond had, and because it is all about the jokes, it's like that's what the writing. It's all about the writing, and it's all about the timing and all of that. So we had to be really specific about it. So, but Sabrina was, it was more like working on a little film every week.